Welcome to the Great Summer Math Mix-Up 2024. This week's scavenger hunt is a lot of fun. Get you outside or inside looking for shapes. What you'll need is a list of shapes to find on your scavenger hunt. You can print the one I sent in the email or just make your own list. You can prepare ahead of time and go find the shapes before you and your child go out to scavenger hunt, or just go out and look together and see what you can find. We found it super fun to take pictures of the things that we found.
It's time to do a geometric shape scavenger hunt where we see the world through shapes. The first item on our list to find was parallel lines. These are lines that do not intersect or meet at any point. So for us, we found our sidewalk had parallel lines. Then we were looking for a cylinder. Cylinders were plentiful, and we chose a tree trunk. So you can imagine there's our top, there's our bottom, there's our cylinder. The cone was a bit harder to find, but eventually we did start seeing some cone shapes. We found some cone-shaped flowers, but we'd already taken a picture of this gnome hat. So here's our cone shape here. Next up was an octagon. This was incredibly challenging to find. So an octagon is a stop sign, and we didn't come across a stop sign while we were walking outside. So while we were searching our house for an octagon, we found a spice that had the shape of an octagon on the bottom of the canister. The cubes were pretty easy to find as well. In this case, we found a tissue box. There's a square here, square on the front, square on the bottom, square on each side. So that is a cube. Next, we were looking for a heart. The heart is called a cardioid in math, and it was also very hard to find on our scavenger hunt. So this was a toy in our house shaped like a heart. The sphere was pretty easy to find. We just found a regular ball. The triangle was pretty easy to find too. Also, we were too lazy to get any closer to this yield sign, but there is a triangle. Intersecting planes is actually a super interesting one, and one that sometimes kids struggle with. This one we found are two ceilings. So the white one is a ceiling, and actually the blue one is a wall, and they're intersecting. You can imagine them coming in at an angle. They intersect and form a line. That's how we know that we have intersecting planes. We have a line between them. Obtuse angle is an angle that's greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees, and that angle is right here. That is an obtuse angle. A parabola, we found this on the stairs of this playground ladder. That was a nice parabola that we found. Actually, lots of them. The parallelogram is a four-sided shape with two sets of parallel lines, and we found it on this person's motorhome. That is a parallelogram. The top and bottom sides are parallel, which means they run the same direction, and then the two sides are also parallel. The pyramid was tricky, and if we're being honest, I made this out of magnet tiles because I couldn't find a pyramid on our walk or in our house besides this one that I made. There's a little square at the bottom, and then the key about a pyramid is that it has triangular sides. The trapezoid was cool to find, so we found this lamppost. The light cover is a trapezoid. The trapezoid has one set of parallel lines. In this case, the top and bottom was parallel. Perpendicular lines were super easy to find. These are lines that intersect and form a right angle. On our sidewalk, we had perpendicular intersecting lines. The right triangle is actually pretty hard to find. A right triangle is a triangle that has perpendicular lines in it, and we found it in a logo of something we had hung up on our wall. A point is a location represented by a dot. In this picture, there's lots of points. There's a point here, 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 here. Here's a big point here. A line is a set of points with no curves, and it extends limitlessly in both directions. So the best I found here was just this line. It doesn't go on forever in real life, but on my picture I put some arrows and now it goes on forever. The hexagon was also pretty easy to find. It was in a lot of shapes and designs. So this is a tile in our bathroom. We also found a hexagon, like a hexagonal shaped fountain in somebody's yard, but we couldn't get a good picture of the shape. The transversal, this is a line that intersects two or more lines at two distinct points. In math, it often looks like this with these numbered angles because there's a lot of cool angle relationships that we can have with this. In our walk, we found it on this basketball standard. So there's our two lines, and there's our transversal that's going through both lines. A circle is a shape where each point is the same distance from the center. That's called the radius. And we found this cute sign that says no pee and poop, be respectful. And our daughter was like, why did they put that up? And then we had to go through and explain why somebody would have that sign in their yard. The rectangular prism was everywhere, super easy to find. I chose to use a cube of butter that I had been using to cook with. An ellipsoid is kind of like a three-dimensional oval. That's a really great way to think about it. The best we found was an egg, and this cherry tomato was kind of ellipsoid-ish, and this is of course three-dimensional. Intersecting lines was actually hard to find what I was looking for on our walk and in our house, but I ended up just drawing this on paper. So there's our lines that are intersecting. All right, have fun on your scavenger hunt and let us know what you found. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below.
How did it go? Let us know in the comments what you and your kids noticed about the shapes in your world.